All right, hello everybody. So I'm going to do a little review of the reading response book that you had to do this week, the Red Tree. So this book is really something, right? It seems at first glance a simple book. It's short. There's not a lot of words. It's easy to follow. It seems like it would be perfect for a younger grade. Once you start listening to it or reading it, you can see that it's actually a pretty deep and sad book that talks about things like sadness and depression and despair. And it's actually a book for older kids. This is actually a book for grade six. And so it's called The Red Tree. It's by Sean Tan. And this book we see a main character, a little girl with a lot of sadness, right? And words like despair, like I said before, just a feeling of darkness seem to follow her around. There's those weird, bizarre images that the author uses to show that she's just weighted by the world. I think there's one image that sticks in my head with the fish that's just going over her, like its looming presence is over her. And we're asked to see all these images and kind of ask, what does it mean? So, the first thing that I would ask you to do when doing a reading response is to consider the meaning. What is the message? What's the author trying to tell us? And although this book seems to be talking about sadness and despair, it's actually, in my opinion, a message of hope. Now, it's not the same. Doing a reading response on YouTube and reading the book and having the book in front of you, going through the pages, you're not going to see as much as I did, okay? So when you actually have the book, and maybe you did notice on the clip on YouTube, there's actually a red leaf that symbolizes hope that follows her throughout the whole book. And it kind of gives us the message and the idea that even when things seem dark, even when you don't know how you're going to get through the day, look for a symbol of hope and it will be there. So that's kind of the message that I got from this book. And there are so many structures and features. This is probably the best book to practice structures and features. When we go back to school in May, we're going to look at this one again, just so that I can show you all of the structures and features. For example, at one point, the text says things go from bad to worse. And it's actually written in a way where it goes down. That things go from bad to worse. And just as the reader is looking at the words go down, we know that it's really going from bad to even worse. Okay? Or darkness overcomes you and the whole screen goes dark. So in the book, the whole page is dark. So those are the kind of things that like say, okay, the author really wants to convey that this person is feeling sad. And that's done, right, with the pictures and the words. Even the music. Really, if you were reading this book, you wouldn't have the music, but because it's on YouTube, the music it's a structure and feature as well. So all those pictures, the little girl on the snail counting, like the snail, the slow, she doesn't want counting the time, right, when she's doing a tally. It's just, it goes to put in that she is feeling depressed. But again, you have to look for those little glimmers of hope that she feels. Okay, that you can that we know that she feels when the book evolves, especially at the end, right? When she opens the crack of her door and the little leaf actually sprouts into a huge giant red flower or tree. So that's actually telling us a lot. Those authors craft, really short sentences that are strong. It's really like a beautiful book. I'm trying to see here if there's anything I wrote down. So I said here that sometimes when you wake up, the author wants us to remember that there seems to be like nothing to look forward to, but when we look at it, even in the midst of darkness, he shows us like glimmers of hope and a bright spot. So, and using the repetition of the red leaf to show how hope can be seen even in the darkest situations. So, if you were to make a connection to this book, really a worldly connection, obviously, with what we're going through in our world right now, this is the perfect connection. it seems dark, it seems tough, it seems like it can weigh on our shoulders. But you have to look for the good that's showing through. People helping people. The people in the grocery stores, the garbage people who are picking up, obviously the healthcare workers, the doctors, the nurses, the preposés, the people cleaning the hospitals, all doing their part for us. These miracle workers all over the world are showing us hope, and we're learning. So that would be the kind of connection I would expect from this kind of reading response. So go back through your reading response, see what you pulled out, and ask yourself if there's something that you would change if you were to do this again. All right? I hope this helps. Talk to you soon.